But I will say to be wary of anyone online, especially content creators, touting that a series is going to be big or how huge it's going to be based on research they've done.
Bruh, never listen to a content creator's opinions, bruh. A content creator's opinions are fucking garbage. Alright. So this video is why manga don't last in Shonen Jump. If y'all are manga heads like me and read, I wouldn't say all the manga, but like most manga, like from week to week, you notice that they cut shit off early. I noticed that when they was putting out a series that only lasted like 20 chapters, and I was loving it. I was fucking with it, but they ended that shit early, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because of money reasons and not a lot of people were tapping in, but they don't even let shit flesh out like they used to anymore. You know, if One Piece would have came out this like around this time, it probably only would have lasted like 20 chapters, bruh. Because they don't let shit flesh out anymore.
On February 1st of 2011, a manga by the name of Detective Trap was serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump. In its early chapters, it captured an audience that wasn't really found in Jump, an audience that wanted more than just battle manga. It wanted mystery and intrigue. But as time went on, its rankings against the rest of its competitors inside Weekly Shonen Jump began to falter. Due to the time constraints and stress of working on a weekly series, the illustrator of Trap was sent to hospital after one of his assistants found him unconscious. A brief hiatus to ensure the health of the illustrator took place, and eventually Trap came back and was reinstated on October 3rd. However, competition did not stop, and its first chapter after coming back was not enough to keep back the looming threat of cancellation. In reality, Trap was failing so early in its run that even after a major story arc, it was beginning to look like it wasn't going to survive just after its 20th chapter. And unfortunately, on December 16th of 2011, Weekly Shonen Jump ordered its cancellation. If you've never heard of Detective Trap, there's a very good reason for that. And it's because it doesn't exist. It's a manga series.
Bruh, add titties? Are you telling them to add titties? Or we don't even know if titties was in there, bruh. It probably was, but no one... That's what them cheap series do, add titties. You're not wrong. A series with a shitty story and shitty fighting, they just add titties, bruh. It makes the manga and anime a lot better. Just add titties. That's all you need to do. And this nigga's right. I had never heard of this shit before, bruh. I didn't even know this shit existed. And this shit only lasted like a few months. Case in point, Iku Tosin is nothing but fighting and titties. Exactly. As long as you put titties in there, it'll save it, bruh. You just, like, when your manga is failing, just throw in like some big ass titties, nigga. And that shit is saved. You gotta balance the titties with the fighting and the story. Titties gotta be in there somewhere. Look how Bleach became Big 3. Each and every woman on that joint either has big ass titties or they're very, very small. There is no in between. It's either giant, voluptuous titties or just small, like you can't even see them titties. They're like no in between.
Inside a manga series. The manga series that portrays it is called Bakuman, and it's a series about two boys whose dream it is to become mangaka. It showcases the reality of what it is to try and make a series inside a manga magazine, especially one as competitive and as big as Weekly Shonen Jump. What's great about it is it's not a series built on speculation. It's a series built on reality. It's a series built on experience. Because the duo behind Bakuman are the same masterminds behind Death Note. While this incident
okay.
is a fictional example, it imitates reality almost to a T. So that's what I want to show you today. I want to dispel how Shonen Jump greenlights and acts their series, how they quantify a success in their eyes, and why it seems like they cancel their
reading a
manga
lot of
so
this shit,
early.
for real.
Why it's not realistic to
Bruh. This shit was fire. This shit right here, nigga, I forgot the name of it, but this shit was fire. It only lasted like 20 chapters, bruh. They cut it off right before they can explain his actual power. What madness are you looking at? We're looking at why manga don't last in Shonen Jump. And Weekly Shonen Jump, there's a lot of manga out there that's like that comes and goes. They only last like some of them, last about like 20 chapters or something. This is one of them. This shit was gas, or at least I thought it was, but it wasn't like. I'm guessing people around the world wasn't really tapping into it, so Shonen Jump just gave up on it. Yeah, like 10 to 15 chapters. Shonen Jump does not let you get away with anything, bruh. If you're not in like the top 10, top 20, you're not getting it, bruh. You're not continuing your series or anything. And it'd be sad because they be canceling that shit right in the middle of an arc. I don't like tennis, but the manga thing was interesting. Ah, okay. I think I know which one you're talking about. Forgot the name though. Because I don't was it Prince of Tennis? I don't really be watching it or reading it. Because I'm not a sports anime fan. I need mine to have like some story or to like or have like some fighting into it. I'm pretty sure it does have like a good story. I'm gonna tap into a sports anime one of these days.
assume a series is going to be
I Shield 21 is my favorite sports one. Okay.
seems like they cancel their manga so early. Why it's not realistic to assume a series is going to be a success before it's even dropped or even before it's reached the 20 chapter mark. So join me. We sit down and I'm going to discuss why
This
your
one in
favorite
the middle was
manga
fire.
don't last.
I do too. Closest I got was Hikaru no Go. Bad nostalgia for me. Only reason I read Hikaru no Go is because it was in them Shonen Jump books. Hold up. I wish I could show you my collection of Shonen Jump. I still got all the books from when I was a kid. You see, right here. I still got them all. All the ones that I collected anyway. I still got them from when I was a kid. When was this? February 2008? I think this was like the last of. Yep. I want to watch Hinomaru Sumo. Heard it was dope. Was volleyball? Oh, okay. I wouldn't know what the volleyball one is. Oh, the little it's the one everyone else be hyping up. What was it called? What's it called? Haikyuu? Haikyuu? Yeah. I know about that one. I used to get it when it was new. Yu-Gi-Oh was Yu-Gi-Oh was actually killing people, bruh. I was like, what the fuck? This is not on the cartoon. Well, back then I called it a cartoon because I didn't know what the fuck anime was. But I was like, hold up. They didn't kill people in the cartoon. I used to get that shit mailed to me every month because I had the subscription. Whole time I got the subscription on my phone now, you can literally read the new chapters that come out each week or each month, and you should be straight. Yeah, but Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a darker story than was in when they showed in the anime, bro. The anime in Japan is also a lot darker than the one that they show in America. Because in America, they make stuff for kids. Sandland. Oh, yeah, I read a little bit of Sandland. I just don't remember it because I think I only read like 2-3 chapters. What's the subscription for Shonen Jump now? Shonen Jump subscription is only like $1.99 now, or is it $2.99? One of them. And you can, they have like a big ass vault of like manga and stuff. Even though I still use like some of the free stuff that they don't have, because not everything is on Shonen Jump apparently, and people do not want to pay $2 a month just to read some of this stuff. I don't get it. For $2, you're getting a lot of content for $2. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. There's the Godzilla kaiju stuff. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, what's that about? Simone.
When
Shonen
talking
Jump
about
ranking.
cancel manga, there is a real sadness behind it, right? Because getting serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump or any magazine means that someone saw value in the story and that there was potential for it to grow. But we have to look at the reality of how series get greenlit and eventually how they get cancelled. One of my sources will of course be Bakuman throughout this entire video, so take with what I say with a grain of salt, as things will have changed a bit since 2011. But based on the numbers, it doesn't seem like anything has changed.
Okay.
So let's say you decide to create a manga. You make a one-shot, and in today's digital age, you have many different ways of submitting the manga to get some eyes on it. You can upload it to one of the various websites. You can even still publish it in online competitions, online magazines, or do it the old-fashioned way and go straight to Shueisha and ask at Weekly Shonen Jump to submit a one-shot to one of their various competitions that they still hold. Depending on the response to your work, either online or in a competition or magazine, an editor may approach you and offer to showcase your work to the next serialization meeting at the godfather of manga publishing, Weekly Shonen Jump. In these meetings, the editor-in-chief of Jump, as well as captains of editor groups, will all vote on the different series that have been submitted for green light in Jump. While voting, they take into account who made it, how long they've been making manga for, whether or not it worked as a one-shot, how many people read it, how many people voted for it, etc. Then the editors altogether vote yay or nay, and they put each series into a pile. If they put too many series into the yay pile, they may need to narrow it down, either by getting rid of some entirely or telling them to resubmit it at the next meeting. Essentially, at the end of the meeting, 4 outcomes will befall your series. Number 1, it gets serialized and is greenlit. Number 2, you're asked to revise it and resubmit it at the next serialization.
Yeah, it's still going. I think it's called shonenjump.com or something like that. I mean, when I used to do Manga Mondays, I would go on like the site, but I forgot what the site was. I just have the app on my phone.
Meeting to then get greenlit. Number 3, it gets tested next meeting. Essentially, at the end of the meeting, 4 outcomes will befall your series. Number 1, it gets serialized and is greenlit. Number 2, you're asked to revise it and resubmit it at the next serialization meeting to then get greenlit. Number 3, it gets tested as a one-shot in the next issue of Weekly Shonen Jump to see if it will work in the magazine. Number 4, it gets axed and they ask you to resubmit something completely different next time. Now, you don't have to have had a one-shot in Jump to make it, but it does help the resume, and it has worked for some of the biggest titles in Jump. It happened with One Piece. Originally, One Piece's one-shot was called Romance Dawn. Mind you, all of this is just within Weekly Shonen Jump and how they run things. Regardless of how you got here, congratulations. You have now been greenlit in one of the greatest manga magazines in the entire world.
One Piece got lucky. One Piece got lucky because it happened right after Yu Yu Hakusho stopped serialization. And I think Dragon Ball Z was coming to an end as well. So it wasn't, I don't think it was as strict as it was back then, because if One Piece started now, it probably would have got canceled in the first 20. The way niggas are talking about how trash the first arc was, it probably would have. Craziest manga I've seen in a Sailor's collection is That Time I Thought I Was 18, a demigod trapped in a teenage body. What the fuck? That sounds crazy. That sounds insane, actually.
You're a part of a magazine that created such works like Slam Dunk and Dragon Ball, Fists of the North Star. You have made it. But now that you're here, this leaderboard will now dictate your success, your failures, and your livelihood within this magazine for as long as you're here. This is how Shonen Jump decide what series they want to keep and what series they want to throw away. Essentially what happens is after every single Weekly Shonen Jump magazine issue is published with the latest chapters from their series, on the back of the magazines is a reader survey. On these reader surveys, they ask how old you are, what gender you are, and also which 3 series this week were your favorite. They take all those numbers and rank them in relation to each other, thus creating the leaderboard. Now, you may be a bit confused. What about sales? What about the volumes? Well, think about it. People are going to buy the Weekly Shonen Jump magazines because there are series in there they already love. They're going to buy it for their JJKs, their One Piece, and Sakamoto. And they're not going to buy it for a new series unless it's popping off. And they're not going to print volumes and volumes upon volumes of these new series that no one is reading. That's why the surveys matter much more than overall sales.
Actually, that makes sense. You gotta care about the surveys first. Yeah, you gotta care about the surveys first before you start putting that shit in serialization and actually start selling that shit. I get where they're coming from in the business standpoint. I definitely get it. I'm seeing a lot of my favorite manga on here. Of course, One Piece, Naruto, Bleach. Of course, those fit the big 3. Hitman Reborn, that was one of my favorites. Hunter x Hunter, of course. There's probably a bunch more that I don't know in Japanese.
Now, they follow the surveys to a T for various reasons. Number one, it helps the magazine retain the audience and demographic it has already cultivated, but it also helps them find series that then cater towards a demographic they may not have yet. Let's say a romance series is capturing older females, and maybe a darker series is capturing older males. Number two, it incentivizes the mangaka to create the best versions of their stories possible, take greater risks, find new ambitious ways to tell their stories, find cool, funny, exciting ways to capture their readers every single week. Number 3, it provides the magazine with solid proof of what series they have to get rid of and what series they can keep. Now, this system isn't perfect, of course.
It's not.
Mangaka can feel like they need to conform their stories sometimes to fit a certain trend that is working in Weekly Shonen Jump, thus kind of devaluing the quality of what made their story already good in the first place. It also forces the mangaka to create stories that are exciting from chapter 1 and not try something different and risky. Now that we know how a series is greenlit, how do we know when it gets axed? Now, this can vary because there are usually around 20 series in Jump at any given time. Essentially, if your rankings are as low as 20 for quite a few consecutive weeks, you are not going to last. But that being said, there are some series that you and I would quantify as some of the biggest successes in Weekly Jump that have been as low as 20 and have been as high as number 1 consecutively throughout the years. To show you, we got to put on some stonks, and I'll visually show you how these rankings can work. So let's take a look at Jajanken. This is a website that takes all the data of the series that are currently going in weekly.
Jajanken? Hold up. Him using FF menu noises is high-key fire. Yeah, it is. And he's using a little Persona 5 background music for his joint. I fuck with it. Jajanken. So I can actually look to see what manga is good before I even actually start reading it. Okay, I fuck with that. Sakamoto Day. Hey, if y'all not reading Sakamoto Days, read it. That shit is pure gas. Pure gas. I heard Akane Banashi is pretty good too, but I'm gonna get into that. Undead Unluck. Oh, let me move my big ass head. All right, Undead Unluck is also one of the ones I read. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I want to read some more, but I don't be having time to read all this shit, bro. I really don't. I need more time, bro.
Shonen Jump and shows you their rankings from every single chapter as far back as 1968. This is all data that's been found in multiple different ways. Some of it has been found in Japan's Agency of Cultural Affairs. Some data has also been supplemented from online research, purchasing physical shonen magazines. Now this graph here isn't too important, but it shows you the top series in Jump and their averages. You have here, of course, One Piece, JJK, Sakamoto, and some others that you'd be surprised to learn are actually the top series in Jump right now, even if you haven't heard of them. Every issue has its own individual leaderboard, which tells you what ranked that week, and then you have the average leaderboard. As you can see, One Piece never ever goes below third place, and it's been like that for quite some time, even when it has a hiatus. But let me show you how easy it is for a series to just go very high and then drop very quickly. Let's look at the first 10 chapters of 2 series which I won't tell you the names of. Which of these 2 series looks healthier to you? It may be hard to tell because they're the first 10 chapters of a series and you don't know the series. You don't know what it looks like, you don't know the name of it, you don't know the characters. So quite literally,
What do y'all think? Y'all think Series A or Series B is more healthier? Damn. This graph, fuck. I want to say Series B. And plus he's kind of like, his big body is all over the graph.
literally it's a guessing game. But let me show you the names of them and their lifetime in the magazine. And as you can see, Naruto and Bleach are very well-known series and have had very differing numbers over the years. It just shows that there are some series you can't tell are going to be the big mainstream successes. Let's see a new series that people are talking about and see if it's doing very well. Let's look at Kagurabachi. And at the time of this recording, only 2 chapters have been released.
Bruh. I had never heard of this shit before, ever. This shit was getting the anime before the chapter was even brought out, bruh. Niggas was on Twitter hyping this shit up, bruh. I don't get it. I do not get it. Do I gotta read it right now, bruh? Do I have to read this? Is this shit really gas, or y'all niggas just hyping it up? I just be walking. I'm walking right now. W walking. I need to go walk right now. Well, I mean, not right now, but I definitely need to take a walk. Walk, 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 please walk.
So there isn't a lot to go on, but let's take a look anyway. In its first chapter, it reached first place. Now, don't get excited. Every chapter, whenever it releases in Weekly Shonen Jump, regardless of whether or not it has a lot of hype or no hype at all, will always reach first place because of various reasons. Number 1, it's going to be on the front.
Boruto? I want to get into the manga since it's on part 2 now, but I don't watch the anime. You love Boruto? I'm happy for you, brother.
Cover of the magazine that
I'm
week.
happy for
Number
you.
2, it's going to have color in the first pages, and it is also going to be the very first series as soon as you open the magazine. Look at the other series that have just released in Shonen Jump this week. You have 2 on Ice. That got number 1 its first week. Mama Yu Yu got number 1 its first week. So you have to look at the chapters past number 1. Regardless of its first chapter,
Anime poo-poo.
Kagurabachi is in 6th place, which isn't terrible. It can go up or down. I'm sure editing version of me will show you where it's at the time I'm editing this. You may be thinking that I'm making this up, but it's true. Even Bakuman has my back. If we look at the first chapter of every series that has come out the past year, pretty much all of them in first place, and even old series, every single one starts in first place at the very first chapter. Like I said, it's a changing leaderboard and it is constantly moving. The only thing that doesn't move is One Piece. It will never go below 3. Dodon was one of these series that many people in the West believe to be one of the next big shonen, and it followed a similar trend of fighting demon and yokai and evil spirits. So let's look at
Young. A lot of my anime niggas that I was talking to in like group me and shit, they were talking about this shit. They was talking about how good this shit was, but I never tapped in. I'm almost kind of glad I didn't tap in because I think this shit is canceled. I think this shit is definitely canceled.
at how it fared. A dip and then some stability around 9th place. That's fine. If you're remaining in the top 10, you're definitely going to be around for as long as you want if you stay in there. But if we look further, it just plummeted and it never came back. You might be thinking, okay, these are newbies. These are people who have no experience in Weekly Shonen Jump. These are people who don't know how the rankings work. They don't know how to make manga. This is their first gig. Okay, fair. Let's look at people who made their second series after coming back to Weekly Shonen Jump. Let's look at the mangaka duo who made Food Wars, which ran in Weekly Shonen Jump from 2012 to 2019. This is a duo that has experience, right? Their career was made in Jump, so they must have some insider knowledge, and their newest series, Tenmaku Cinema, must have done pretty well, right? Me personally, I like this series. I'm a filmmaking buff, and to see a manga about filmmaking was really exciting. Cool concept, strong character. All right, let's see how it did, right? Nope. Cancelled. low in the rankings. And of course, let's look at one of the most infamous examples, Ayashimon.
Ayashimon, that's the one, bruh. This shit was gas. Gas as fuck. Why did they cancel this shit? Shonen Jump, what the fuck were y'all doing? Bruh, this shit was gas.
The creator of Hell's Paradise came from Jump Plus to Weekly Shonen Jump. Let's see how he did. Just didn't work. Jump doesn't give a shit if you are a creator that has created something great in Jump. Even if you're a veteran, you don't get special treatment. The only special treatment you could get is if you were one of the people who made some of the fucking biggest series in Jump. Like, look at Dragon Ball Super and Boruto. Boruto was a series that was in Weekly Shonen Jump, but look at the amount of hiatus. So it got moved to be a monthly series. And it was only afforded that courtesy because guess what? It was one of the big three. If it was just any old schmuck series, it would have been axed by now. Jump does not care. It wants consistent quality. And that is one of the things that the rankings do. This can be very detrimental to the mental health of people who work in Jump. As someone who makes content and I get personally ranked on every single video I make.
Young, you heard what he said, right? Boruto was about to get the trash can. If Boruto wasn't a sequel to Naruto, that shit would have got the trash can. But niggas say it's good, so I'm going to definitely tap in one of these days since part 2 is actually already out. And the things I'm seeing, like, older Boruto do, that nigga going crazy.
Against myself? Yeah, doesn't feel very good. And yes, me and Oda are basically the same. That is what I'm saying. Yes.
What the fuck?
So now we know how cutthroat Jump is. Why do people make these grand observations that this will be the next big series in Jump, or that this will be the next New Blood in Jump, or that this is gonna be the next huge...
The manga is no fillers. There's no fillers in the manga. The anime is all fillers. This is talking about manga. But they did definitely animate it too soon. I can't fault them there. They definitely animated that shit way too soon.
Story that might eclipse One Piece. Well, first of all, I think people don't actually know about the rankings, so that's the first reason. Second of all, no one knows what in Jump is going to become the next big thing. You look at the numbers, you look at these graphs, it's like the stock market, and like Matthew McConaughey says, the market can go up, down, or in circles. Nobody knows, least of all
that's why the manga is heat.
The reader.
Nigga, they was talking about the manga would have been trash can if it wasn't a sequel to Naruto. That's why they gave him that leeway.
Editors in Weekly Shonen Jump don't really know. They have an idea of what will work in Jump and what will suit it, but they can't guarantee what's going to be a smash success. Otherwise, Weekly Shonen Jump would just be full of bangers and nothing would get cancelled. If you compare manga readers to anime watchers, you know, there's a lot of differences. One of the differences is that manga readers do have this air about being ahead on something. Not just being ahead on a series that people are watching and saying, hey, I know what happens in the next arc, but also being ahead on the next big thing. Trying to guess what's going to be the next big series can give you this arbitrary badge of, yes, I'm the one who guessed that this was going to be big, and I'm the one who's been reading it before it got popular. It's basically just being good at guess who, and that's really it. No one here, you, me, anyone knows what will be big in Jump, even if it looks like it's going to fit Jump to a T. In Bakuman, Marashi, the main character, had an uncle who was a mangaka, and he didn't describe being a mangaka as an artist, or as someone who is trying to create the best story he can. He described being a mangaka as being a professional gambler, because you never know if your chapter is going to do as well as you think it is.
So basically, they're wine tasters, which are also useless. Basically. Basically, yeah.
And if you're someone who thinks they know what's going to work in Japan because you're looking at the trends of what is popular in Japan right now, what's popular in Jump, that doesn't have any kind of weight. Because if you look at what's in Jump and look at the most popular, it doesn't seem to add up. Blue Box and Akane Yabashe, at the time of this recording, are some of the top series in Weekly Shonen Jump right now. And they are a series about romance and a girl who tells old Japanese Edo series to people. I don't think they really hold up in this comparison of what's trending. And that's because Jump, while it has certain things that do work like battle manga and what is popular, they also have variety. If you had told the editors of Shonen Jump back in the day that Death Note was going to be a cult hit, they probably would have laughed you out of the room. And that is because trends come and go. If a series comes in and tries to appeal to a certain trend, it could easily as die or live based on how saturated it is. If it was that easy, everyone would do it. Everyone would make dark demon revenge stories for every single magazine, but it's not. Now, I'm not saying this to say that a series is going to succeed or not. What I am trying to say is that there is no possible way of you or I knowing. But I will say to be wary of anyone online, especially content creators, touting that a series is going to be big or how huge it's going to be based on research they've done.
Bruh, never listen to a content creator's opinions, bruh. A content creator's opinions are fucking garbage. They be saying they do research and they just watch a fucking YouTube video, bruh. I watched this YouTube on this manga that's about to be fire. It's gonna turn into a fire anime. Don't listen to content creators, bruh. Don't even listen to me. Don't even listen to me. Content creators don't know what the fuck they talking about sometimes. Hell, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about sometimes, bruh. Don't listen, bruh.
As someone who is a part-time YouTuber and used to make videos on one series, I know how much they value a series to succeed. When you make videos on just one manga series, you are guaranteeing yourself views, especially if it's new and people are talking about it. When I was only making videos on Berserk, that's all that got views. So it's within the best interests of these other YouTubers to make videos on a series that is trending, and if it succeeds and continues to grow and become a big series, they then are going to benefit from it. Hundreds of manga channels out there that make a living covering one or multiple series, making videos about every single chapter as a release, crafting what's going to happen next. Some of these channels are really good, but some channels are just trying to chase and establish themselves as the authority on new series. So it's within their best interest to tell you that this series is going to be the next big thing, because no one wants to be a part of a sinking ship.
Basically, form your own opinion on art, music, food. Yes, form your own opinion. Do not listen to these content creators. These niggas are here to sell a dream. We are here to sell a dream, nigga. And if you take our opinions to heart, I don't know what to tell you, bruh. Bruh.
No one wants to root for a dying horse. No one wants to read something that's...
Most of these content creators are chasing the clout. That's what they're doing. Most of them are chasing the clout. Whatever's trending, they do the trends. And I'm like, bruh, I'm not doing trends. I'm not following whatever clout. I want to be the initiator, bruh. I want to be the initiator.
It's gonna get cancelled. This is all essentially just unparalleled speculation, a massive expectations because of some really fucking funny memes, and a little bit of hope. These waves of excitements that could be right, but they could be just as wrong.
Just like that manga I was talking about earlier, Ayashaman, that I thought was gas, that I thought was fire, that shit got canceled. 26 chapters in. Shit kicked the bucket. Like I said, don't listen to content creators, bro. Don't ever. If you get something from this video, don't ever listen to their opinions. Don't take it to heart. Form your own, please.
Ultimately, I want every series to succeed. I know as someone who creates something to want to succeed. Ultimately, is this a plus for the mangaka to see that there's so much hype towards their series? I'm not sure. Again, we don't really have a say. We're not there. We're not reading the surveys. We're not putting them in. We're not really there where manga is taking place. Ultimately, I don't know if anything will change or can change in Jump. I mean, again, they've been doing these rankings for decades, and it has created some of the best manga ever known. But ultimately, there is a positive to kind of all of this, especially with rankings and trying to create the best story possible. In Bakuman, the rankings can really dictate the days of our main characters. They can be the worst days when they have a low ranking and some of the best days when they have a high one. And there's this thing that's amazing with these rankings that actually happens in the series is where they get to know every single creator of every single manga that's in Jump. And they push each other to make better stories. They create this competition where they inspire each other to make something great. And that's something that can be good with competition. It can fuel you. For me, there are many creators in my niche and outside of my niche that I look at, and I hope one day I can get to that quality of videos. So it can be something great. And I'm still trying. But I never want to go out there and say that I'm going to be the next big YouTuber or that this series is going to change your life, because I don't know that. All I know is that I need to look at every single video as its own story and try and make the best one I can. And I think that's what we should be doing when we look at these manga. Look at them as what they are, or why they're going to change the world, or should they, but just trying to appreciate every story like it is. And, you know, make some memes along the way. It's hard not to be romantic about manga, especially because it's crazy to see a small series grow into one of the biggest things in the world. And it is sad to see one that had so much potential that you loved just get axed for reasons you have no control over. But
yeah, if all the surveys actually happen in Japan and shit, there's literally nothing we can do to actually stop none of this. Whatever series you like, if the people in Japan that's reading it don't like it, that shit getting kicked. It's getting axed. It's done. Over. Ain't shit you can do about it.
it's comforting to know that every single series and every single story and every single piece all begin at number 1. Thanks all for watching. This has been a very hard video to film and research and numbers and stuff, but I hope you enjoyed it. I'll leave a link for the description of the website down below so you can use it to look and see if series in Weekly Shonen Jump are doing well. But on that, if you like the video, please like it. I always appreciate it. And subscribing also does help the algorithm and helps this channel grow. I really appreciate that. But that's all from me. It's really hot in this room, so I'm going to go now. My name's Mugen. As always,
Mugen.
Have a good one.
Get you with that light. W motherfucking video. I liked it. I fucked with it. And what did we learn today, class? Don't listen to a content creator. If a content creator is real good at making his opinion and his point across, don't listen to that nigga. Just take it for what it is. Just take it.